Example 1, evaluate the expression when x equals 4. So here we have 5 times the square root of 6x minus 15 plus 3. So we're going to take this 4 and replace it with this x. So I'm going to start writing. I'll start with 5. And the square root and the 6. And then instead of this x, I'm going to write a parenthesis with a 4 because I'm replacing that x with the 4. And I'll continue with the minus 15 and then plus 3. At this point, as a reminder, we're using order of operations or PEMDAS to solve. Notice there are parentheses, but these parentheses here mean that we're actually multiplying. This square root is kind of like a whole quantity, and we can treat it kind of like parentheses, but I'm going to move on. There are no exponents, so I'm going to move on to multiplication, which I have right here, which is under the square root sign, which is where I want to start. So I'll write the 5 as it is, and I'm going to take 6 times 4, which is 24, and continue writing the minus 15 and leave the 3 as it is. And my next step is to continue simplifying what's under the square root because it's a grouping or like parentheses. So 24 minus 14 is my next step. So I'll write the 5 and the square root and make that square root smaller because 24 minus 15 is 9. Then I have this plus 3, and if I continue, my next step is to simplify the square root of 9. Square root of 9 is 3 because 3 times 3 equals 9, as a reminder. And I wrote these parentheses here because I have to remember that I'm taking 5 times 3. So that's my next step is I have to multiply because I do that before I add. 5 times 3 is 15, and 15 plus 3 becomes 18, which is my final simplified answer after I've evaluated. Example 2, evaluate the expression when a equals 10 and b equals negative 6. So we have two variables here. I'll start with the square root. And then for my a value, I'll write 10. And then I'm going to write my minus sign here. And my b value, which is negative 6, and I'm going to use parentheses for that. So I'm going to write my square root sign again. Notice that I have this minus a negative, and when that happens, if you take away a negative, that means really you're adding. So I'm taking 10 plus 16, or 10 plus 6, which is 16, and the square root of 16 is 4 because 4 times 4 equals 16. So 4 is your final simplified answer. Thank you for listening. You're ready to try your practice.